next guests are the best charting female Korean group of all time.
Wildly popular K-pop group.
K-pop sensations, Blackpink.
Now, I'm not a fan of K-pop music as I fancy ballad music more. But as I was watching this Netflix documentary on Blackpink, what interests me is what makes this K-pop girl band so huge, so popular. Now what we saw just now is these four beautiful, talented young women from different backgrounds standing and performing on this glamorous stage. Millions of fans screaming. There were tours after tours that they have to perform. The glitter, the fame, the fan craze. Younger girls who stargaze at their idols, probably even dreaming that one day they could be like Blackpink. Now what's wrong with that? But what we don't see is that their entire lives are wrapped around these three things: beauty, fame, and glory. They started training at the young age of 15 or 16 where they had to leave their family for good. They didn't have school friends where they grew up with in high school. Now at training, they spend grueling hours practicing in the studio. Their lives are basically controlled. They have strict diet, a lot of exercises to attend. They have no contact with the outside world, including their family. Their lives are basically practicing and dancing to perfect their performance, and the cycle repeats itself. Some may think that all this effort, they're paid off in the end. They are global megastars now. But I challenge you to think further. Is it really worth it? At the end of the day, all this fame, all this beauty, all this wealth, they are in exchange of their freedom, in exchange of their quality time with their loved ones, and it's also in exchange of their own lives.
I dropped out of school. In Australia, I dropped out of school. I had never even imagined myself living apart from my family. I hadn't even slept more than 2 weeks out of home. It was a really hard emotion.
Now as Christians, we need to dissect and see the world with God's spiritual lens. In John chapter 2 verse 15 to 16, John writes and says, "Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in them. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life, they come not from the Father, but from the world." So my brothers and sisters, we need to be aware of the deception that the world presents us. They look really good on the outside, but beneath all this, they reveal something far deeper. They reveal the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life, which are hidden in the human heart. Now you see, Blackpink, they persevere so hard to attain their dream, and their dream is to be selected by YG to form a girls group, to be a world star. That's their aim. Now what's our aim as a Christian? If we claim that we want to be a true disciple of Christ, then do we persevere as hard as Blackpink? They gave up their freedom, their family, their personal choices to attain their dream.
Face, and I'm trying to keep everything together when I hear those things. It's really harsh.
It wasn't a very happy vibe.
We're not allowed to drink or smoke or get a tattoo.
집에 많이 못 가고 주말까지도 연습하고 해서 부모님도 많이 속상해하고 걱정하셨는데.
That's a lot to give up. Now what about you? What are you willing to give up in order to chase after Christ wholeheartedly? The difference is this: what Blackpink gave up in exchange of the worldly treasures, we know all these things will not last. All this fame, this beauty, the glory of the world, they are short-lived and they don't mean anything in the eternal kingdom. But for what we give up right now on this earth for Christ, we know that it is going to last for eternity. For where our treasure is, there is our heart also. Matthew 6 verse 21 says. Now I believe each of us have the opportunity to be world-class Christians, that we are saved to serve and we are made for a mission to impact the world for the better. Now worldly Christians only attend church, conferences, seminars, self-enriching motivation talks. Which category do you belong to? Let me challenge you with these following verses. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves, take up their cross, and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit his soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? Jesus said the cost of following him is wholehearted devotion.